as we mentioned before the break, some fire incidents recently in West Bloomfield Township make it more important than ever to make sure you're up to date on the latest safety information and know what you need to know to put together a plan in your home and get out safely in the case of a fire. Plus, we have some other details on special events coming up and new programs and initiatives in the West Bloomfield Fire Department. So joining us to talk about all of that and more is West Bloomfield Fire Chief Greg Flynn. Thank you so much for being with us, Chief. Glad to have you on with us, Chief. We had a fire incident last night in West Bloomfield Township in the area of Walnut Lake Road and Orchard Lake. Give us the details on that. As you know now, we saw a post last night from the fire department on that it happened around 10:30. What's the latest update?
So the fire remains under investigation, but we're very pleased to report that the residents did get out of the home and there were no injuries to the firefighters. But in your opening remarks there, how important it is that we all continue to be alert to what's going on around us, but also all of those aids that we have for safety, like our smoke alarms, ensuring that the batteries are working, that the alarms are in good working order. And a real nice feature about so many of the smoke alarms these days, Tyler, is that they're integrated. So I know in my home, the smoke alarms on all three levels, I can program to the location. So when one of the alarms goes off, it tells me basement smoke alarm activated. And it's saying that on all levels of the home. So even inside the home, I know which smoke alarm is going off and where the fire may be. So always a good thing for us to look at. We're going into possibly a long weekend for folks to take that little extra project on and ensure their safety plan and their escape plan. And remember, we want to meet somewhere away from that main driveway where the fire trucks are coming up, a safe place, a neighbor's porch, somewhere like that. So we know that everyone gets out and they stay out.
Other than the safe escape of those that were in this home last night, Chief, and from the discussions on site with your firefighters and paramedics, with those that did escape, was there any indication that played a big factor in them being able to get out, other than the obvious that they all got out safely from, by all indications from those pictures, what was quite an aggressive fire?
Yeah, I think we all believe that we know exactly how we're going to react when fire strikes. And we know that using the U.S. Fire Administration's tagline of "Fire is everyone's fight," that we all play a role in that. That's why the escape plan is so important, is that people just react and get out. Often I think folks believe that they're going to be able to put that fire out. And while in some circumstances, Tyler, that is possible, a cooking fire where we actually see that the pot contents have started on fire and we can put a lid on that and just leave it in place. Don't carry it outside. We leave it in place. We take that oxygen away and we break that fire triangle. Those are important things. But as far as the incident last night and some specifics on that, not really prepared to comment on, as they still kind of sort through things on the incident as they were there till reports that I had cleaning up until about 4 a.m. this morning. So some information still rolling in from the incident last night.
Yeah, but the crux of this is that they did get out of that fire safely. They were able to make contact with emergency services who were able to respond to that fire. And that all goes back to having a plan, to executing that plan, and to making sure you have those safety provisions in place. Because, Chief, we've seen these fires, not many of them necessarily, not as many as you may see in some larger cities, but they happen consistently. We see the same story from these fires of late. They happen in a home, they happen in a business, smoke detectors are working, they have an escape plan, and they get out. So we know that these things work, and it's even more important nowadays because the materials that are in our home and the materials that our homes are made with, especially newer ones, they tend to catch on fire a lot quicker once one has started.
Well, we know, Tyler, that the lithium-ion batteries that we can find in probably, I'm guessing there's 3 or 4 just around where you are right now in one of your devices or something that's lighting up the space that you're in, that we know from 15 seconds from the time smoke starts to be emitted from those lithium-ion batteries that they go into full combustion. So that's just how quickly things can trigger, and then that fire can start to spread within a home. So early activation, having the escape plan, the things that we're talking about. And again, thank you for having this kind of discussion. Even someone hearing this for 5 seconds about, hey, I need to look into that. we know that while we can't measure it always, I'm confident that it's making an impact and making our community safer. To your comments about we're getting there quickly while the fires are smaller, we're extinguishing the fire, and we're limiting the amount of damage and property loss to the homeowner. So it's the system works, and again, it's everyone's fight within the community.
And going back to those devices, those smoke detectors, those carbon monoxide alarms, you want to have them in multiple locations throughout your home, as you mentioned. The good thing about today, as you also mentioned, is so many of them are integrated through technology in our homes with smart home technology. But still, you want to make sure you're replacing them in a proper interval. You want to make sure that they are rebatteried at proper intervals as well. What's the typical timeline suggested from firefighter professionals today?
Well, if you look up at what's typically a white smoke detector and it looks brown or yellow to you, then I am pretty confident that thing has outlived its lifespan. The plastic has actually started to degrade. So the newer models, Tyler, come already with a 10-year lithium-ion battery in it. They're usually sealed, and you may not even have a battery to replace, although there are still models that have replacement batteries that you can put in there. But some of them, as you read the package, will just say it's a 10-year battery. So, they're not a terribly expensive device, but we also want to know, want our residents to know that if you have a loved one that needs some help with a smoke alarm, you can reach out to the fire department, and we'll schedule an appointment and come in and install through a grant project through the state of Michigan's Bureau for Fire Services. We can assist in some of those situations and install smoke alarms in the home.